For the week of February 13th. Happy Valentine's Day, Josh.
For the week of February 13th, it's Oh, how are you now? Good and you? Not so bad. It's Josh.
I see what you're doing. Let's just blow up the whole thing. It's Mojo Weekly. This is John. That's Josh. Let's get to the news. All right. I like it, though. You're after my heart with that one. Okay, here we go. People may have thought that the audio got jacked up again, the stepping on each other like that.
We don't do that though. Never.
Yeah. Fucking audio last week gave me some trouble. That's why there was no video, because I could edit the audio, but the video was just beyond jacked. So
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully we're better this week. Josh, there was a Nintendo Direct on Thursday, and it was a good.
There was. Tell me more right now.
Yeah. I'm about to tell you all about it, and I'm going to try not to spend too much time on certain things because Dale goes over some of those things as well later, so I don't want to duplicate his efforts and make people listen to the same shit twice.
Hate that.
But anyway, so, yeah, I know. Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes. Do you have any interest in these Dynasty Warrior style games?
So wait, this Fire Emblem game is a Dynasty Warrior style game? I thought Fire Emblem was its own thing.
Oh, it is, but it's yet another Dynasty Warriors style game, like spinoff, like Hyrule Warriors or Dragon Quest Warriors and all that stuff.
Not at all.
Yeah, I don't care. I tried really hard to get into the first. I don't even know if there are two, but to get into Dragon Quest Warriors, because I love Dragon Quest, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm going to give this a shot," and didn't do it for me. I played Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U and got maybe, I don't know, 30% through it before I just gave up. I'm like, I can only hack and slash the same 4,000 enemies so many times.
I guess like the original Dynasty Warriors, it was like, what is that, PS2? We're talking PS2 now. And it was so cool because it was this almost like a tech demo. Like, how many polygons can we get on the screen at once? How many different characters can we get on? And it's just like the voice acting was ridiculous, and it was feudal Japan, and it was like over the top and ridiculous. And you're just hacking and slashing hundreds of characters spinning all over the place. And it's like, this is a pretty cool concept. That series has not evolved one fucking inch. It's the same shit, but they keep reskinning it with the same bullshit. And this is people make fun of Pokemon or people make fun of Madden games every year. This is the same shit, but it's even worse because they put little to no effort into changing anything. It's rough.
Yeah. They just throw it in a different world. They're like, how about Dynasty Warriors with Zelda?
Yeah.
How about Dynasty Warriors with Dragon Quest? Like, I just don't care.
No.
So anyway, we're starting off on a poo-poo. No Man's Sky is coming to Switch.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. And I understand that this game is actually good now. So
6 years later, it's good now.
I was one of the idiots who bought it on launch day and like traded it in like 3 days later because I'm like, this is dog shit. But apparently this game's great now and people love it.
That's
so
cool.
It's coming to Switch somehow.
That's really cool.
This one I'm excited about. Mario Strikers Battle League is coming on June 10th. So
Mario Soccer.
I love me some Mario Strikers. Yeah,
is it good?
I mean, it was fun. It is good. I played it on GameCube. That was the last time I played it, and it's a blast, man. It's like a 5-on-5 soccer game. All right. And it's just like you beat the shit out of each other. You power up and you throw like lightning balls at people, and it's super fun. It's super fast and frenetic, and I think you can play like I think it said you can play like up to 8 players simultaneously, in versus.
That's crazy.
So
both local and online, maybe?
That I don't know.
That'd be cool.
That'd be nice. This one was rumored for a while, but here it is. Chrono Cross is being remastered for the Switch and coming on April 7th. I love Chrono Trigger. I never played Chrono Cross.
Oh, I tried Chrono Cross. Chrono Trigger is a fantastic game. I don't know if it's as great as everyone thinks it is, but it is really good. And Chrono Cross was incredibly disappointing. It's more of the same shit with like Final Fantasy VIII style aesthetics and blah, 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 blah text nonstop. And I don't know. Didn't do it for me.
Yeah. Here's one that I was like, Nintendo, what the hell took you so long? They're bringing back Wii Sports, but it's going to be called Nintendo Switch Sports. $40. If you get the physical version, you get a leg strap so you can play, like you put the Joy-Con on your leg and play whatever game that uses that. But not that I'm like dying for a Wii Sports revival, but I'm just like, that's free money, guys.
Yeah, I know.
That's just fucking money in the bank.
Yeah, I'm
a
little surprised by it, but there's some new sporting events, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I guess, you know what? I'm thinking about it, and just like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, they said they're halfway through their Switch life cycle, which I'm like, wow, that's bold. And maybe this is like the jolt. They were saving this. They're like, they're saving this. They're like, okay, midpoint, we're going to put out Wii Sports, and it's just going to give it another kick in the ass. Give the Switch another kick in the ass, and all the nursing homes are going to buy it again.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's true. It is Nintendo's #1 selling game of all time, Wii Sports. So it's about time we get a third one in the series.
Yeah, technically, yeah. And then here was a big, exciting one. I super pumped. I know you've been posting a lot about it, but Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings, also known as Mother and Mother 2, hit the Switch retro libraries, a Nintendo online service for NES and Super Nintendo. That's exciting. It
is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. That Earthbound New Beginnings is the NES or Famicom one, huh? And that came out on the Wii U.
Yeah,
I believe it was released on the Wii U.
Yeah, it came out on the Wii U. Yep. It was never properly released on the NES. It was localized, but they never released it. So I was always like, God damn, they're gonna leave that thing trapped on the Wii U, and I'm glad they finally brought it over.
And the cool thing is the strategy guide, the PDF for it, is available for free online.
It is, yes.
That's even cooler.
Nintendo provided a link for it. If I was just using the one from Earthbound Central .net, I think.
I should have.
.com or something.
I should grab mine and show you how beat up it is. It is the most ridiculous thing for the Super Nintendo Earth.
Oh, I thought you were going to have it all prepared.
I forgot about it until just now. But yeah, it's the most beat up, disgusting, moldy looking thing you'll ever see.
Yeah. So there have been rumors that Mario Kart 9 is in development. I was excited. I'm like, oh man, I hope we see Mario Kart 9. Well, Nintendo decided, nope, we are just going to keep milking Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for all it's worth, which, good business sense. So what they're doing is they're putting out paid DLC in the form of 48 total courses. And they are all remastered courses from prior games, including Mario Kart Tour, which you can find on your mobile device. But new online or Nintendo Online expansion subscribers get all 48 of these courses included with their membership. So I'm thinking about this, Josh, and I'm like, man, why would they do this? Well, because they got that online expansion and they're like, you know what? We really need to throw these fuckers a bone. What should we do?
Yeah.
Let's just make some more courses for Nintendo Online subscribers and make it free, for them. So
I get that.
That's just me reading, trying to speculate, but I think it's cool. Breathes more life into already one of the most, probably, I think it might be the highest selling Switch game out there. So breathes a little more life into that.
I still never bought it.
Might even convince some. Oh, it's great. It might convince some folks to pony up for the Nintendo Switch Online, or
the big one. Yeah. I have it on the Wii U. I have Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U. That's fun.
Yeah. Portal and Portal 2 are coming to the Switch sometime in 2022. Crazy. So that's exciting for folks who love Portal, of which there are many. Mm-hmm. And then we got another demo for Triangle Strategy, which, that's still the name. That's still the name
they're running with it. Yeah.
And there's even a theme song that's like Triangle Strategy. It's terrific.
That is so bizarre.
So they can't change the name. That is so
bizarre.
I got it. So the demo is pretty cool, though. If you're interested in this game, the demo has the first 3 chapters of the game, and you can transfer that save into the full game when it comes out on March 4th.
Do you think either one of us are going to get past the 3rd chapter anyway? So
no, not a chance.
There it is. We got the full game.
I couldn't even I couldn't even get past the original demo because I was like, this is boring as shit.
That's amazing.
So yeah. Here's a cool bit of information. I've always been interested in this game. Didn't know a ton about it, but it's always kind of piqued my interest. The classic Squaresoft JRPG Live Alive has never been released in the West.
Really?
has been localized and is coming to the Switch on July 22nd.
Oh, that's crazy. That is super cool. I actually thought that was released because it was so big. Like, I always see the images on online, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know what this is. But that's crazy.
So Per Schneider from IGN had a really great thread on Twitter saying, hey, I know people are bummed out that Mother 3 still isn't there, but check out Live Alive. And he had a great thread about why it's a great game and why people who are into the Mother series and Earthbound and whatnot should really check out Live Alive. And I plan on being there. I'm going to check it out. It's been remastered in like that the same graphical style as Triangle Strategy and Octopath Traveler, so that whatever Square's calling it, like HD 2D or something, they're calling it.
I thought it was Live Alive.
That's what I thought too, or I thought it was Live Alive.
Oh,
because that seems to make sense. Live
Alive,
right?
Yeah.
But according to the trailer, it's Live Alive.
Huh. Well, now I know, I guess.
So I don't know. Anyway, here's some cool news. Klonoa 1 and 2 are being released on the Switch on July 8th, just in time for my birthday.
Woo!
I like these Klonoa games. You know, they're lighthearted.
Yeah.
You know, they're pretty fun. They're pretty breezy too. They're not super difficult.
They're pretty cool.
They're cool. They also showed Kirby and the Forgotten Land, which is coming very soon. I think next month. I'm excited for this one. It's Kirby in a 3D world, like a post-apocalyptic Kirby kind of. But they showed this thing called Mouthful Mode.
Oh, is that what all those memes are about?
Yeah. So he doesn't just like swallow an enemy and like take on their abilities, but he swallows like giant objects. Like he can swallow a car, and then it's just like a big Kirby coated car. And then it's either drive the car around, or he can swallow, for whatever reason, he can swallow like a parking cone, like the rubber cones that go on the street. He can just swallow that, and then he turns into a giant cone and does whatever giant cones do. I don't fucking know.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, it looks adorable.
That's awesome.
I'll be there on launch. I'll buy that shit.
Nice.
Another surprise out of nowhere, another pair of classic games. Well, classic in quotes, depending on your definition, but the first 2 Front Mission games are being remade and coming to Switch. Isn't that?
That's crazy. Like,
I've never played them.
Well, have we ever gotten any of them localized? Wasn't there like Front Mission 3 or something like that, or like PlayStation 1? I think so. Or something like that?
I think they've been localized. But these are like mech-based strategy games, and they look pretty damn cool. Do. Like this, the update looked pretty neat. The remake video they showed looked pretty
it's
neat.
a really big, or at least in Japan, it was big Square game that we never got in the US, and I don't think we've even gotten sequels to it. Was Bahamut Lagoon. That's a game I want. God damn it!
Yeah. All right. Well, it's out there in the ether now. Is your cat giving you troubles, man?
She is playing on everything. It's not my cat. It's not my cat. It's not my cat. First off. But it certainly is my responsibility. It's my daughter's cat. She's climbing on everything.
Splatoon 3, Josh. They showed it again, coming out this summer.
Woo! I don't give a shit.
I don't either. I'll probably buy it because I love these games, and my wife actually loves them. But it looks like Splatoon to me. Like they look the same. But anyway, it has a co-op mode called Salmon Run Next Wave, and this one apparently you're doing co-op to take down big kaiju. Look pretty neat. Look like Godzilla coming out of the water. That's
cool.
We finally got a release date, and hopefully this one sticks, for Advance Wars 1 and 2. It's coming out on April 8th. Yep. April 8th. And it got a new trailer, Josh, and it actually looks good now. Like the graphical style, I'm finally happy with. It doesn't look like shiny Fisher Price toys anymore. God, played on like a toy table. It actually looks pretty decent. So I'm now once again back on board and excited for this again.
Good. That's good,
because after I saw the first set of trailers, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just keep playing these on my Game Boy Advance.
Definitely. Or maybe I'll just go back to Military Madness on my TurboGrafx and play a good strategy war game.
Nice. Metroid Dread got some new difficulty options.
Baby mode?
I think one of them is like, Well, one of them is like a hardcore one-hit kill kind of
Jesus.
thing. And then the other one is like a baby mode. You know, it gives you a lot more health and missiles. And
that's my speed right there.
Baby mode. I wish they would just have one big button mode. Too many goddamn buttons going on in that game. Too many damn buttons going on. And then finally, their big reveal at the end, and you know, it's a big reveal for a lot of people. I'm sure for me, it doesn't mean as much, but Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was announced. I always forget there's a Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Oh, really?
I completely forget. Yeah, I completely forget. But anyway, it's getting a third. You like these games?
Good question. So the original Xenoblade Chronicles was on the original Wii, correct? And then I believe
and also the 3DS.
Oh, sure, yep. And then the sequel came out on the Wii U, and then it also was ported to the Switch, I think, right? Like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, something like that.
Maybe. I know, and there was another one in between there.
Maybe it was like a side story or something like that.
Xeno something, and it was almost like an offline MMO.
Oh, sure.
That one I did play. I played that one, and I played the first one. I enjoyed both of them. The first one I enjoyed more. I played it on both the Wii and the 3DS.
Yeah.
But after that, I was like, "Fuck, man, these games are 8,000 hours.
They are.
Long.
They're humongous.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I think that's the same thing. Yeah, they're just massive, humongous games. From what I've seen, and I've got gameplay on my YouTube channel that a friend streamed once and sent me the files for, and it was like 10 gig files every time he would stream, and it's like, holy shit, these are massive.
Yeah.
And he played through the entire game in like 89 hours or something like that. It looks great, and it plays amazing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure if it's your thing, anime inspired hack and slash kind of, you know, really cool open world concept. It reminds me of like a very less focused Ys 8, because Ys 8 has some of that kind of feel to it too, a little bit. But it's just go do whatever you want, have fun. There'll be storylines, there'll be cutscenes. You'll find them in about 10 hours. Like, okay, cool. But I think they're awesome and they look great, but I just don't have the time. I mean, they do. I don't have the time.
Yeah. I don't. I got a lot further on the 3DS version than I did on the Wii because it was portable and I could play it wherever. Yep. But I still never finished the first one. All right, and that is it for our news, man. That is it. That's everything from the Nintendo Direct. It was a good one. It was a good one. I really enjoyed it.
Well,
if they kept on dropping these surprises.
If it hadn't been for Earthbound, would it still been as good, John?
Yeah. I mean, so Earthbound, we'll talk about it later. It's my favorite game. But I've got all sorts of different ways to play Earthbound.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, right.
So it's great that it's on the Switch, and it's great that the audience for it is now going to be massive. Like, what is it, like 105 million Switches out there?
Yep.
So
for free.
I don't know how many Nintendo Online. Yeah, I don't know how many Nintendo Online folks there are, but it's a bigger audience than it's ever had.
This is one of those things where it really gives that Nintendo Online account thing, which is still the original for Nintendo and Super Nintendo, is only $20 a month or $20 a year. God damn, $20 a year. And there you go. There's 2 Earthbound games. Like, boom, enjoy, play them.
Yeah, and I've never played Earthbound Beginnings for more than like 5 minutes just to kind of mess around with it.
Are you going to sit down and try it this time? Put it on your handheld mode and just sit down with it before bed each night? And because I know you're avoiding Card Fighters Clash now because you're afraid of grinding, so you might as well do it in Earthbound Beginnings.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you know, Earthbound Beginnings is supposedly like a chore.
Oh,
like
really?
Just a slog.
Oh,
yeah. So I will play it a little bit and see how far I get before I just tap out.
Sure.
But
that's too bad.
That's that. All right, it's time for the new releases. Dummy. God. Time for the new releases. I'm a pro at this. We've only been doing this, 2 years almost? Okay.
Just about.
Josh, let's find out if I think there's one game on here that you're going to be interested in. One game. I'm calling it. I think there's one game that you might even buy.
Wow.
Maybe not at launch, but you might own at some point.
Wow.
All okay.
Right, well, I'm
going to save it for last. I'm going to bump it to the bottom.
All right. I'm willing to hear about it.
Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires for everything, including Stadia. So more Dynasty Warriors for you. Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection for the Switch. That was, I think, maybe just announced too. Also, one other thing I didn't have on my list is Getsu Fumiden dropped the other day.
Oh.
The new Getsu Fumiden, which looks great, but it's also I mean, the art on it looks fantastic, but it's also a randomly or procedurally generated roguelike, so I immediately tap out.
Oh, sure.
But anyway, looks great. Looks like freaking Castlevania,
Ooh.
but like not. Anyway, Total War Warhammer 3 for the PC. Here's one for me. I've got it pre-ordered. Horizon Forbidden West for PS4 and PS5. And then here is Josh's pick of the week. For the PS5, the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 4, and PC, we have the 15th iteration of the King of Fighters series.
Oh, yeah.
King of Fighters 15.
Yeah. That's on Valentine's Day.
You'll have that.
That's on Valentine's Day, I believe, right?
Yeah. Looks like the 17th.
Oh, well, Valentine's week then. Yeah, that's definitely a purchase for me. Hell yeah. King of Fighters.
See, I'm starting to get to know you, Josh. Getting to know all about you.
A thing or two about a thing or two.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a thing or two about a thing or two, we got 6 minutes of Dale and his retro recap. So, Josh, get cozy. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, MoJoWeekly listeners? This is Dale, and welcome back to this week's recap of the latest retro re-releases, remasters, and remakes. As always, credit for this goes to GSK from RetroNuts.com, LimitedRunGames.com, and StrictlyLimitedGames.com. Got a lot to go over this week, so let's get to it. This will be an all-digital releases week, and a big thank you for the Nintendo Direct for the last minute, probably doubling the length of this recap. We'll start things off with Hamster's weekly Arcade Archives release of Thunder Dragon 2. This military-themed shmup first hit arcades from NMK in 1993, and after looking up some gameplay footage, it looks like it has the potential to be an appealing hybrid of a Raiden and 1942-esque kind of shmup. And as per GSK, he notates this game has a much appreciated soundtrack, which you all are currently listening to, and he recommends blasting the hell out of the letters you see at the beginning of each stage for a mammoth score bonus. As part of Nintendo's Contact Packed Direct yesterday, the latest additions to the NES and SNES channels were updated today. The NES saw the addition of Earthbound Beginnings. It is the official first entry in the beloved series that did not see official release from Nintendo until the Wii U generation on its virtual console. Meanwhile, the SNES sees the release of the game that released first in America with the original Earthbound that we know it. As a bonus, Nintendo released its original 1995 Player's Guide. It bundled with the retail release of Earthbound as a free PDF digital download that you can find a link to in the show notes for this week. Although I highly recommend fan gamers loving homage of a guidebook more as an alternative. This brought out expected fan outcry to bring over an English translated version of GBA's Mother 3, but from playing through the fan translation myself, I can vouch for John's Discord analysis that during the Mother 3 game, while still excellent, it is weird as hell and goes places that would definitely raise some eyebrows in America, and I highly doubt it will get an official release here unless it is dramatically altered. Been like, a record 3 or 4 weeks since we touched on Cotton on the Retro Recap? Well, it's back because City Connection released the Cotton Guardian Force Saturn tribute on PS4 and Switch several weeks ago, and now it is out on PC via Steam. Additionally, the Switch and PS4 versions were updated this week to address fan feedback of input lag and other performance issues. As a refresher, this collects the Saturn shooters of Cotton 2, Cotton Boomerang, and Guardian Force. All 3 games are currently individually available for $18 on Steam, with a first week sale of $16.19, or altogether for $54, or a first week Steam sale of $43.71. Here's another doozy from the Nintendo Direct the other day. Do you love the Disney Square crossover RPG series Kingdom Hearts? Do you love your Switch? Do you love cloud gaming? Well, that is the only way you can play all the Kingdom Hearts games, like all the Kingdom Hearts games dropping on Switch this week in the form of Kingdom Hearts Integrum Masterpiece, which collects past bundled remastered editions of all the games all together for $90. Or a current first week sale of $72. This includes the Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix for $40 if you want to go that one individually, or Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue for $50, or Kingdom Hearts 3 plus the Remind DLC for $50 if you want to get those 3 bundled editions separately or all together for $90. So, once again, these are all only playable via online cloud gaming, so please keep that in mind on the Switch. Hey, you remember last month how UFO Interactive teamed up with Humongous Entertainment to re-release a couple turn-of-the-century edutainment adventure games on the Switch? Well, they did it again with 4 games all out this week with Pajama Sam, No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside, Pajama Sam 2, Thunder and Lightning Aren't So Frightening, Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, and Spy Fox and Dry Cereal, all for $15, and like the previous 2 games from last month, these 4 all have early reports according to GSK that they have significant performance issues. We're almost done. The 1996 exploratory first-person shooter Powerslave gets a remaster this week, with it adding a subtitle from its name in other regions, Powerslave Exhumed. This remaster is mostly based on the PS1 version, but merges supposed fan-favorite Saturn-exclusive content throughout. It is out on the Switch, PS4 and 5, Xbox One, and PC via Steam for $20. Second Samurai is a port of the popular European side-scrolling action game that first hit Amiga and Mega Drive in 1994, and is now available on PC via Steam for $10. Now, we touched on the Valis collection getting a physical pre-order via Limited Run Games a few weeks back, but now this Switch collection of the appreciated TurboGrafx games is now available digitally for $40. Finally, Getsu Fumaden Undying Moon is out now on Switch for $25 and is just leaving Steam Early Access on top of that. And it is an all-new remake of a Konami horror action platformer from its Famicom days. It sports lush, dark fantasy visuals that are supplemented with eye-popping gigantic boss fights, and a revamped progression system that makes this game operate now more as a roguelike action title. Yeah, I watched some gameplay footage, and it does look like a really slick-ass action game. So, that wraps up this mega-long retro recap this week. Please check out all the show notes for all these crazy links and more. Back to you, John and Josh.
Man, I know that was a long one, but I think that might have been my favorite retro
really
recap
good.
Dale's ever done.
It was really good. I don't know what to think about that. I love cloud storage stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
Me a little.
Like, you got to be online to play it and the whole shit. Yeah. So, I just loved him mumbling, "We're almost done," randomly.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty funny. So we kind of alluded to it earlier. We're going to talk about my favorite game of all time, Earthbound. What?
Oh man.
Just kind of to honor the release on Switch. Yep. Seemed like an appropriate time. You recommended it, Josh, so we're going to roll with it. Josh, when was the first time you played Earthbound?
Oh, must have been when it came out. I think I rented it from Lincoln Video, and I thought, this is weird. It looks like a Nintendo game.
Nice. I actually didn't get around to it probably until about 5 years later, maybe 4 or 5 years later. Because this was released in, 95, June of 95. And I remembered seeing in, like, stores this giant box with this weird looking cover of, the Starman on the front. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I remember kind of reading a little bit about it in EGM. And I was like, well, that looks kind of neat. But I didn't really understand what it was. And at that point, I wasn't super into, I was kind of like on a downswing from gaming a little bit. Right. Yeah.
So you were too cool.
You
hit puberty.
I just had like ladies going on. No, it was 95. So I was a year into college. Yeah, something like that. I had just finished my first year of college when this came out, so I just had other shit going on. Yep. And so I didn't really know much about it. It looked kind of neat, but didn't pay much attention. A few years later, I was on spring break in Myrtle Beach, and as what all the party boys do in Myrtle Beach during spring break, I was at a used video game shop.
Of course.
And I saw a copy of Earthbound, a loose copy, a cartridge of Earthbound, and a loose copy cartridge of Chrono Trigger.
Shit.
For $5 a pop.
Damn. That
$5 a pop, son.
Can't pass that up.
So I was like, fuck. Yeah. I'll pick them up. And I dabbled with Earthbound a little bit over the years, never got super far until they put it out on the 3DS just a few years back, like maybe 5 years ago. And I spent the entirety of a vacation at the cabin, sitting by the lake, hanging out in the cabin, doing whatever, playing Earthbound with the PDF of the strategy guide pulled up on my phone, and it immediately jumped to my favorite game of all time.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I had good memories
Love
of
it.
it, and especially like just looking at the way that it was translated and stuff. It has this feel to it that I don't think any other type of game encapsulates, and it's weird. It's hard to explain it to someone who hasn't played it. Like, yeah, I spent 3 hours on it. It just isn't my thing. It's like, if only you'd went another 3 hours. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't necessarily bring anything super original to the party, but it is so freaking unique.
No.
I don't know.
Yep. It's what I think it does for me is it's just like a story of these kids who go on an adventure, and it's charming, and it's humorous, and it's lighthearted, and it doesn't hurt also that for a turn-based RPG, the gameplay is actually really good.
Right.
You know, it's got these mechanics that work really well. Like if you get attacked, and let's say you get a mortal attack, right? So in other words, a boss hits you or an enemy hits you, and you've got 200 hit points left, but he hits you for an attack of 400. It doesn't immediately wipe him off. It like ticks down, right? So it cycles down. And if you manage to end the battle or, you know, beat that enemy before it's done, boom, you still live. Yeah. I love that shit. Because it really, and I've been playing through Mother 3 quite a bit.
I saw your stream the other day.
Almost done with it.
It's good.
And I've been milking that mechanic a lot because I'm like, fuck, keep going. I can finish it.
That's awesome.
And then it's also got this bit where it's like, so the battles are not random. You can see all the enemies on the screen, which I love because I hate random battles. I fucking hate that. But the other cool thing about it is if you're leveled up enough, the enemies will like run away from you because they're just like, you know, you're way overpowered. And not only that, but it's just like a waste of your time because you're not getting enough EXP out of them anyway. So I love just little touches like that. So you don't have to waste your time. It respects your time, you know, which RPGs have a habit of not doing.
Yeah.
So what is this game? Why should people play it? Well, it's a turn-based RPG based in like a Japanese framed vision of what American life is like, kind of, right?
Almost like it's in the
so it starts out
like it takes place in the 50s. It's got this weird vibe to it that's just
Yep. Yeah, it's very like it's also very like Spielberg like, you know, as far as you know, Spielberg kids movies, you know, like E.T. or, you know, Spielberg produced the Goonies, you know, something like that. You know, it's very like adventure, like kids adventure kind of thing, but not like kiddie. It's not kiddie at all. This isn't like a saccharine game where it like talks down to you. This is fucking a cool, interesting game with fun dialogue and a fun story. So anyway, takes place in like, it starts out in a small town and you're a kid named Ness. You can also change your name to whatever you want. You can change everybody's name. And all of a sudden one night, like a meteor lands nearby your house and you go up to check it out and there are cops everywhere and you kind of have to sneak in and see what the meteor is all about. And then it turns out like maybe aliens are invading. I don't know what's happening. And then you have to go on and find out and go on an adventure. And you go from one town to the next. You go to a beach resort. You go to a city. You go to like a swamp, and then you go to like this trippy as hell area. And then you have different characters who come and go from your party, but there are 4 main people that join your party. And it's just goddamn delightful, Josh.
It is. It's true. And here's something for you that's a little heartbreaking. Now, imagine the shitty people that left their apartment in shambles and left this rotting on the floor. You ready for this?
Yeah, I want to see
this.
It.
This is
holy crap.
This is the Earthbound strategy guide, the original, and the pages are like they were waterlogged to the point where they're falling out. I don't know how much a strategy guide of this goes for, but when they found it, it was sopping wet in a heap of magazines and old EGMs and stuff. And I threw away all the EGMs. I threw away everything else, but I kept this just for sake of keeping it because it says Earthbound on it. It's probably the worst in shape version of the Earthbound strategy guide made by Nintendo Power. ever in existence.
Yeah.
It's even got staples through it, dude. Somebody like stapled it back together.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But I mean,
and
it's kind of usable. I mean, it's crazy, but you can sit and follow it if you wanted to. Oh nuts. My God.
I love it. And like we mentioned before, and I think Dale mentioned it too, you can get the PDF of the guide. And I always recommend people use the guide to go through because the guide is less like, I mean, it is a strategy guide, but at the same time, it's more like a vacation guidebook, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. You might want to
use, it looks like
the
shit.
PDF.
But I really recommend that people use the guide. It just, for me, it made the playthrough so much more enjoyable. And I'm using Fangamer's Guide for Mother 3 as well. Like, it's just so much more enjoyable to go through because you get all these little extra tidbits about the game that you normally wouldn't get otherwise. So anyway, it takes probably, 25, 30 hours to get through, give or take.
Yep.
But worth every bit of it. It's not too hard. It's definitely not too easy. There are some challenging points to it. The humor of it is great. You will have like things will happen in the game that you're just going to be like, what the fuck kind of acid trip is this? Yeah. But that's what I love about it. It's one of the big things that I love about it.
And if you do go back and decide to really hammer out Earthbound New Beginnings or Mother 1, it's only a 16 to 18 hour game is what most averages out for. So that's just, a couple of weeks of an hour before bed, John. Come on, man. Come on.
That's right. And then there is Mother 3, which has never been officially localized. There's a fan translation out there. I'm almost through it. It's terrific. It is way more out there and crazy than Earthbound. Wow. But it is almost done with it. I feel like it's almost... I mean, some people might call it better than Earthbound. I don't know that it is. I think I like the vibe of Earthbound a little better. But it is up there with one of my favorite RPGs I've ever played.
Incredible.
Mother 3 is.
And that's GBA only, correct?
Yeah, GBA only. Like I said, there's a excellent fan translation out there, and Fangamer also has an excellent guide that is just as good, if not better, than the Earthbound guide.
Fantastic.
It's really, really great. They did an amazing job. It's like you would think that Nintendo made it themselves.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, so that is it for our game spotlight. Josh, you ready for your last question?
I am. Right after you wipe that tear from your eye after talking about Earthbound for 10 minutes, man. You're getting...
That's right. I was like, look, what do I
steam it up a little.
And here we go. All right, Josh, here's the question. What is a game that you overlooked at first glance and then years later maybe came back and were like, you know what? Holy shit, this game's great.
Ooh. Well, there's lots of those because there's a lot. I'm going to point to the Sega Genesis. Okay, this one wasn't even released, so it's hard. But Glaylancer, when we talked about it and we were like, whatever, this isn't anything special. Yeah. And now it's probably one of my favorite shoot 'em ups in the 16-bit era. It's so good. But I'd go with Gaeres. Nice. I remember Gaeres being in game magazines and being like, okay, it looks cool. And then I tried it like at a Sears or a JCPenney or something. I'm like, God, I'm so glad I don't have a Sega Genesis. Because if they're excited for this shit, I'm going home to play Gradius 3 and Axelay. Because I got a Super Nintendo, you fucking nerds. Whatever. But Gaeres is excellent too. They grew on me. Missed out on it totally.
I already mentioned Earthbound, but I guess another one would be a game that you showed a little bit ago, Gunstar Heroes. Like, I completely missed it back in the day. Like, I saw it and I probably saw pictures of it in EVGM, and I wasn't a Genesis kid. My brother had a Genesis. I was a TurboGrafx kid, but neither of us had he didn't have Gunstar Heroes, and I didn't really pay any attention to it back in the day. Went back, probably 15 years later, and I was like, whoa, this game's fucking incredible. It wasn't until it came out on the Wii Virtual Console that I actually put any time into it.
Gave it a shot.
I played all the way through it. I was like, this is insanely good.
Yeah, Gunstar Heroes is what made me realize I probably missed out on something special with the Genesis. I never had anything. All I had, I had a Nintendo and I had computer shit before that, but Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and TurboGrafx, and that was it. And I'm like, I'm good. I'm set. I don't need anything else. And my buddy rented Gunstar Heroes, and he's like, you got to come over and try this. And this was in 94 or 93 or whenever it came out. And I played it, and we played through it, and it was just like, like I'm spent. Like that was incredible. So gorgeous. It's my favorite Genesis game ever. Totally. It's one of the best games of the 16-bit era. It's just glorious. So much fun.
It's treasure firing right out of the gate, man.
Yeah.
Right out of
I
the
think
gate,
it's my favorite treasure game.
Kicking everybody's ass.
It's
all right. Well, that is it for this week. In the meantime, you can find us at MoJoMenace.com. On the front page, you can find links to our forums, our Discord, and our merch store. Sale going on right now, and I think another sale going on in a couple of weeks. Always 35% off sales, man. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.com/MoJoMenace, where you can find videos and stuff, and usually watch this show if the fucking video doesn't get jacked up on us. And Josh is going to take off a shirt. Oh, there's one of the shirts you can buy at our merch store. Josh is modeling it for everybody right now. And then there's a fart, and not a little one, but anyway, I'm getting all distracted. Twitch.tv/MoJoMenace. You can stream every now and then. And then on all the social medias, you can find us at MoJoMenace. Josh, we're going to find you.
This week, Earthbound came out, but I said, you know what? Screw you, Earthbound. We're playing Soul Blazer on the Super Nintendo on my Twitch stream. So if you want to follow me, I always talk a lot about the shit I'm streaming on Twitch on my Twitter account. Find me on the Twitterverse at _Joshua Turbo. Don't forget the underscore, as it is the most important underscore in all of the internet.
Well, you all have a lovely weekend. Until then, bye-bye.
It's in your head. I don't need to do it. Fuck you, John. Everyone.